Okay, we're back, part two, and now happily on our backs to do static back position at the wall, or if you're at home, of course, and have something to support your lower legs, that's even better. So static back, take a moment to breathe and settle into your position, shoulder blades together under your back, relax the hips, the belly, facial muscles. Take a few breaths before we take off into very simple action in the hip joint. Internal rotation, legs in, legs out, external rotation. So turn in and out at the hips. Try to keep it even and just try to stay relaxed. Two more. Turning in and out, and we'll do a second set. So going a little wider, you decide how wide. You might check the alignment of the feet on the wall, of course, to stay parallel. Same thing, don't worry if you went really wide and your knees don't touch on the internal, you're still getting the action of internal rotation and external in the hip joints. Again, trying to keep it even and trying to stay relaxed as best you can. That's 10. Now return to neutral. Of course, I always like to recheck your position. And then from here, we'll do the assisted hip lift. So you're going to just take your right leg, bend the knee, and place the right foot to your left thigh. Now you can stay here, left foot flat on the wall for at least 1 minute, say. You could add raising the heel, so plantar flexion of the foot at the ankle and stay this way, or if you prefer, you can flex the hips to pull and increase the stretch to the right buttock. So we probably won't hold for a minute, but you want to get a sense of balance, contact to the floor, your head centered, right left shoulder, right left arm, your hips, your pelvis. Does it appear to be weight balanced? Hopefully it is. And then we'll slowly release. The foot can return to the wall, undo the right leg, shake loose if you need. Of course, realign your feet and legs for parallel, and then change sides. So bending the knee, opening the hip, stabilizing, and then you decide what will work best for you. Foot on the wall with the right foot there, heel up, flexion at the hips to hold, up to about a minute. Again, you're just working on really making these hip flexors, quadricep muscles work against the stability of your spine resting on the floor. Breathing. Relax the facial muscles, especially your jaw. Wet your lips, relax, breathe. And then we'll return, foot to the wall, release the left leg. Now we're back in static back position, and I'd like you to grab your block and put the block between your thighs. Again, it's your choice how wide to have your block. To me, this is more normal. We'll do a few isometric inner thigh squeezes at the block. So tighten against the block, squeeze it, and release. While you do that, you have to try to keep tension out of your abdominals, the buttocks, the face, fingers, toes. So let's do 5 more. Here you can add as many contractions as you like. 2 and 1. Okay, we're going to keep the block just to keep the legs stable and set so you don't have to worry about them. And we're going to do some upper abs. So we're going to do a few sets and combine upper abs with bilateral hip flexion. First, bend your elbows, draw the shoulder blades under and closer together under the back to maintain the width across your chest and elbows wide. Now, your neck and head stay neutral, Let your eyes roll back in the sockets. Find a spot on the ceiling that's slightly behind your head, as best as you can judge, and then we'll do just a first set of 10. Prepare on an in-breath. Use the exhale to raise the upper back. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So this is 3. You try to raise as high as comfortable for you. Try to keep the neck long. You might squeeze the block just a little bit. I think I have one more. Okay, come back to the floor, and as long as you're comfortable, keep your hands behind your head. Let's add bilateral hip flexion. So squeeze hold of the block a bit, flex both hips, the feet leave the wall, a few inches return. 2, so it's back and forth action in the hip joint. Keep the feet just the way they are at rest against the wall. Last 2, I think. One more. Now, for a challenge, if you're up for it, upper abs and hip flexion together. If you're not up for the challenge, do another set of upper abs alone or another set of hip flexion. Or you could even decide to alternate, do one at a time. That's another nice combination. Okay, last set. So I'm going to do both, hip and upper abs. One more. Okay, that was good. Okay, done with that. We'll get rid of the block, walk your feet down to the mat, stretch your legs straight, and allow your feet to find the wall. Again, I always like to look, make sure your hip width parallel. So now we're set up, just nicely stretched out. You might appreciate that in these hip flexors, to stretch them open, take a few breaths. And then let's bend the legs, feet on the mat. So this is the hook line position, and we'll do 10 pelvic tilts. So this is a nice way to release the back and belly. And remember, the head will move. It's all connected. Easy and slow action. It could be as slow as you like. Don't go too fast. And complete this last one. Now we're going back to straight legs, feet on the wall. Okay, then reach for the block. Now actually you have options here. We're going to do pullovers and some leg actions, okay? Hip flexion, bent knee, hip flexion, straight leg. So you could do your pullovers with a block, holding that way. And in fact, let's start that way. So first set of 10, maintaining nice straight legs, the wall is helpful, and breathing in and out, taking your straight arms back and up over the chest. Now when you have a block, it's kind of a neat reference really to see if you're moving your arms evenly. Does the block touch the floor evenly overhead? Ideally, it would. But you don't even have to touch the floor. It's a nice stretch for the front of your body and your hip flexors. Okay, I think this is the last one. Now, you can either keep the block to do more pullovers, or some people like just to do the hand-to-hand positions, you know, a steeple, palm to palm, locked in, straight arms. Now we're going to do just a short set of pullovers with alternating hip flexion. So right leg will begin, you bend the hip and knee, you return to straight, arms come up. So pullovers and hip knee flexion. We'll try 4 more sets. go slow so you can be precise about your actions. Bending the hip and knee, extending the hip and knee. Does the foot return to the wall? So don't rush. Okay, then you can continue this way, or you could still use your block. Now let's add straight leg hip flexion. If it doesn't work as well for you to raise and lower your straight leg from the hip joint, you might have to go slower for sure to be more precise. Return to the bending of the hip and knee. You could just do another set of those. One more each leg. Okay, release the arms, bend the legs, and here a little moment for you to do a nice release in knee drops, and you can hold to one side, turn the head opposite the knees, breathe, knee drops right. Take your time with this to really release nicely, and if you like, you could add the arm crossing the body and just stretch your back. And then changing the knees to the other side, lifting the other arm and rolling to stretch this other side. And then just a few little easy movements here. And then we'll go into our foot ankle circles. We always want to do some of those. So you can choose. I'm in hook line right now. Some people like to start right here, bringing up one leg. Others like to have the leg straight, so the wall's right there. Steady the leg, and then let's do just 10 circles each direction. So outward circles. Breathe and try to relax, even while holding the leg steady. Relax the chest and shoulders. And then reverse, 10 internally rotated. And now add point flex. And shake loose. You can return to either bent legs or straight. Other leg, same thing. Outward circles. Reverse. And of course, feel free to do as many circles as you like. And point flex, forward and back. Final one, and then shake loose again. You can just do a quick little release. Now we're going to do sideline position. So rolling over onto your side, stack the legs. Now you might want to use a block. We're going to do inner outer thighs. Now you could be low, you could prop yourself up if you like, but it's a lot more comfortable being close to the floor. Stabilize with your top arm. For the first one, the inner thigh, lower leg, one way to do it is to, this is more challenging for some, just hold the leg up and move the bottom leg up and down. Or it's more comfy and convenient if you have a block to rest your thigh, knee on the block, and then raise and lower that bottom straight leg. Keep the foot dorsiflexed, reach out through the heel, and let's try 10. Okay, now you can stack the legs and keep them straight if you like to do the upper leg moving up and down, 10. Another position, more stable maybe, is to bend the bottom leg at the knee, calf and foot back. It's like a kickstand, so it's nice and steady. And one final one. Now, I kind of always like to add this. We'll just do a short 5, so stretching out, if you can, possibly bring palm to palm overhead, really elongating. arm and leg coming toward each other. They don't have to touch, of course. And it's both waistline muscles, right side and left, or top and bottom, have to work. Exhale and inhale, stretch. One more. And now you get to go into your upper spinal floor twist position. So you flex the hips and knees, use your mat to align, arms forward, try to get the bottom shoulder out of the way. Ooh, and I sometimes like to use my block as a prop for my arm back there. So when you're ready, lift the arm, open, rotate. Conveniently placed. So you try your best to hold the legs stacked. The front arm could hold the top leg in place. And you settle down and release into this twist. And it could be 1 to 3 minutes, depending on how much time you have. And it takes a while to kind of release into this position. Do the best you can. Breathe. Okay, when you're ready to release, the back arm comes forward. Oh, and you can stretch a little beyond, and then we'll change sides. So take a moment, shift easily. So I'm going to bring my block. So we're on the other side now to do the inner outer thigh. And let's see, bottom leg first. So again, you can either hold this leg up. I think I'll keep it simple. Another position actually is to bend at the knee and place the foot on the floor. If that works, you can hold it steady. And then dorsiflex the bottom leg, raise and lower 10. And again, feel free to add repetitions here. And then stack the top leg, and you can just keep them straight, or if you liked that position with a kickstand for the bottom leg, it goes back at the knee, and then the top leg goes up and down 10. And then the last was restacking your straight legs. I need a little more space here. And stretching out. So keeping the ankles dorsiflexed, the bottom leg and hip really are working to stabilize as you try to bring the arm and leg together. And then this is contraction. Now it's stretch, contract, and stretch. Out, breathe in, try one more. And then into upper spinal floor twist. Take my block back here, set up, align with your mat. Careful about that bottom shoulder, it often gets in the way. So when you're ready, top arm up, open, rotate, block. Okay. Top arm, front arm can hold steady. Breathe. And try to relax into the twist. You can make little adjustments in your body as it releases and relaxes. So anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes or more if you like. Okay, so the back arm comes forward, and again, you can stretch and release. And now we're going to change positions again. Feel free to stop and give yourself time to relax there. We're going to take a prone position, so face down on the floor, and just do a few things before we end. Now, You might decide to bend your elbows, stack your palms to allow a pillow for your forehead, your chin or cheek, whatever feels best. One thing that's a nice release after all that is the upside down, I call it the upside down windshield wipers. Just a few breaths, a little bit of a release, if that feels good to you. And then we'll lower the legs and do some back extensions. So stretching out as long as it's comfortable for you this way, forehead down. You can maybe do a human X, wider in the legs and arms. Let's do contralateral arm and leg lifts. So let's start with breathing in, lifting and stretching right arm, left leg. The trunk and chest can rise too. Breathe out, lower. Left arm, right leg, lift up and lower. Breathe as much as you need, actually, especially if you hold for a bit. Then let's try 3 more sets. And 1 more set. Now take a moment, kind of shift your hips a bit as needed, and let's try, it's either the Wonder Woman or Superman, whichever you happen to be today, raising everything, holding and breathing, stretching, spread your fingers and toes, and then release. Bend your elbows, hands under your chest to come up. You could kneel with your elbows and forearms on the mat, forward of your hips. So this is the kneeling extension, allowing the neck and the head to release, your belly, your ribs, your back. Take a few breaths. If you're comfortable easing your way back closer to your knees, you might like to do a child's pose, sitting, sit bones on heels. Arms can stay forward because that's a nice stretch for your back, or circle the arms around and then breathe and relax for just a few moments. When you're ready, you reach your arms forward if they were behind, spread your fingers, raise the hips up, and let's prepare for a downward dog stretch, curling the toes, raising the knees and hips. You might like the down dog stretch. Nice stretch for the entire back body. You could even add walking the dog if you like those calf Achilles stretches. And then as you're ready, begin to stabilize, feet under your hips. However you need to do it, take your time, breathe a lot, and maybe you might do a little squat to help lift and stretch. While we're here, maybe you'd like to do a little side stretch. Exhale, bending right, inhale up, exhale, going left, inhale up. And how about a deep bend, exhaling, inhale, rising up. 1 more time, exhale, inhale up, release the arms, relax the shoulders. Thank you for coming.